Hi everyone, I'm Gina.
And I'm Marcus.
And in today's project analysis series, we'll be touching on
the current talk of the town, a park, a town, and you probably guessed it right, Parktown. We'll have the preview dates here. The preview dates for Parktown is between 7th February till 17th Feb, right? And the launch day will be on the 22nd Feb. But Gina, what's also launching during this period?
Alta at Clementi.
Yeah, so there will be two projects launching together in this period. So if you need to have a better understanding of Alta, do refer to our previous analysis. We did a video analysis on Alta. So today our focus will be on the Parktown.
Okay, so Parktown is jointly developed by reputable developers, Capital Land, UOL, and Singapore Land. It is a mega integrated project with 1,193 units. Estimated TOP date will be N2028.
Yeah, so for this, the retail will have approximately 100 to 120 units, including your shops, F&B, supermarket, as well as some schools. As for the hawker center, approximately 40 stores. Okay, so for Parktown, you can see that it is a fully integrated project with the 13,600 square meters of commercial and retail space. So it's very huge, right?
Okay, so Parktown will be Tampines' first fully integrated development, which is also the largest integrated development with transport hub. Okay, so there are total 9 integrated developments in Singapore, including Parktown Residences, and it is one of the biggest by land area and the GFA.
Okay, so but for Parktown, the size of the mall is still at very reasonable size of 13,600 square meter. So do not be confused. No doubt Parktown, yes, we are the largest plot with the highest number of residential units, but for the mall itself, the size of the mall, we are actually not the largest. Yeah.
So hopefully there will be strong anchor tenants bringing in more footfall to the area.
Okay, so first up, our first developer, because this is jointly developed by 3 developers, our first developer is UOL. So UOL is a prominent Singapore listed property and hospitality group. These are some of the track records of UOL, with the most recent launch by them will be Mayor Blue.
Capital Land is another renowned developer with track record of over 40 years in building iconic city landmarks and award-winning homes.
And lastly, we have our last developer, Singland. So Singland is they play an integral role in shaping Singapore's real estate landscape and skyline over the past 6 decades. And these are some of their track records. So next up, we have the location map. From the location map, you can see that Parktown is integrated on top of the Tampines North MRT, which is the upcoming Cross Island line. So surrounding Parktown in the 1-2 kilometer radius, we do see we have a lot of schools, right?
Yes, Angsana Primary School here, Hoi Ching within 2 km, and you have your other secondary schools around, including the United World College.
So basically, in our surrounding, we have no lack of schools, as well as you can see that we have quite a number of malls as well. Like we have the Tampines 1, Tampines Mall, we have the Pasir Ris 8, which is gonna TOP soon. The commercial has already TOP. We have our 3 big malls, IKEA, Courts, as well as Giant.
From this site plan, you can see that we are surrounded by all these newer HDB BTO estates, and just behind here is a future school. Then Angsana Primary School is just around here, and across Tampines Avenue 11 there is a future development area.
So this is the location map in terms of the views around us, but one thing we notice is that the HDBs around us are mostly between 15 and 16 stories high. So this is something for you to take note. Okay, so just moving on. Next will be our block-to-block distance. So our block-to-block distance on the outside will be minimally at least a 60 meters distance between the blocks, and for the internal, we have 2 different kind of segments within the project, which we have the east
and the west.
Yeah, the east and the west area.
Here, and then you have the west over here.
Yeah, so they have different distances in their respective areas. Okay, but generally, there's still very good setback within the development as well.
So for Parktown development, the link to the MRT is at basement 1, located here. So it's fully sheltered, including the link to the bus interchange as well. And the bus interchange will also have aircon. Okay, so that will be on level 1.
Yeah, so basically the residential unit for Parktown will start from the 2nd level, and because this is a huge development, you can see that the amenities or the facilities that come with such a development will tend to be very comprehensive. So this is actually a full condo facility, provided for you. This is basically just the breakdown of the unit types lah.
There will be 1 bedroom plus study all the way to 5 bedroom premium.
So next up, the Parktown estimated break-even price.
Okay, so for Parktown estimated break-even price, it is at around $1,661. However, we also know that just nearby at Tampines Street 94, in October 2024, it was awarded to Hoi Hub Realty and Sunway Development, and their break-even cost should be $1,823, which is higher than our break-even land cost.
So what do you think that plot will potentially sell for? Very likely it will be higher, right? So this is an opportunity for you to enter into Parktown at today's prices. So Gina, what do you think will be our Parktown's developer pricing strategy?
So today we just received news from developer that the indicative price will be starting from 1.07 mil.
So notice that for this integrated project, the PSF is mostly between our 2.1 to 2.2 range, which I think is still very reasonable in today's market, especially when a lot of new launches are transacting average 2.4, 2.5 PSF even. So this is a rare opportunity for you. So for the price analysis, what we did was we used a previous developer project, mainly UOL. So this is Botanic at Bartley. We took basically stack 43 over here and stack 36, which is both are pool facing, as well as stack 29 road facing. Reason being why we took two pool facing is because you notice that for stack 43, you have a much wider distance from your neighbors compared to stack 36. Okay, so when you take a look at the numbers over here, we take the lowest floor, second floor, relative to the highest floor, 17th floor, and we'll realize that the price premium over here from bottom floor to top floor will be an average of say 8%. Okay, for the stack premium, stack 29 a road facing versus stack 36 the pool facing, we see that the average stack premium here is about say 4.5, 4.6%, as well as for stack 29 to stack 43 an average of much higher, in fact, at probably 5.3%. But Gina, for illustration, what number are we using for the stack premiums here?
We're gonna use 5%.
Yeah, so for the stack premium, we'll use 5%. And for the bottom to top floor premium, we'll use this 8%. So this is just to give you a rough gauge in terms of basically the pricing table which we have came up with. But this one thing to take note, it may be a disclaimer that this Botanic at Bartley was probably launched somewhere 2015, right? And back then, maybe the developer's pricing strategy is a bit different. Bottom floor, top floor is only 8%. Who knows? Maybe for Parktown, the premium can be even 10% to even 12%. We wouldn't know. So, but just for illustration, today we'll just be using 8% and 5% for the stack premium.
So Marcus, can you share with us about the 1 plus study analysis?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so for the 1 plus study, basically we have two types of sizes. We have the 463 square feet as well as the 506 square feet. But the 463 square feet AS2, they are most all inner facing, but they are mostly on the second level, the lowest floor. Okay, so with the developer's indicative starting price, we will see that the prices are all approximately 1.07 million. Okay, so let's take a look at the layout. Okay, so for the 1 plus study layout is kind of standard, but one thing I want to point out is there is this area where it's a little bit more of a sunken L-shaped kitchen, so that it gives you a very nice depth of 2.15 meter. And because this comes with a study, you have a standalone study over here. But the study for here is, you can't exactly hack this wall lah. So what you can do is, if you don't use this as a study, you can seal it up and just double it as a storage. But other than that, it's kind of the same with most developments lah. So next will be, likewise, this is just a mirror image of the previous layout, just that these are also all the internal facing, stack 14 and stack 34, which is over here. Yeah, over here, which is more on the Park West side. So the next one, over here, you will see that the layout is slightly different. So yes, this is still a 463 square feet layout, but the main difference is the entrance area. You have a little bit of wider entrance lah from your main door. Okay, and likewise, Everything else stays the same. Your study is at one corner, and then you have the dining area, but the kitchen over here will not be L-shaped already. So for the 1+ study, the next layout is 506 square feet. And this 506 square feet, what we have is basically road facing. Stack 60 and 69 considered internal facing, but you're facing your opposite neighbor block. But for the rest, like these stacks here that we have already circled, these are all road facing and lightly facing towards the HDB plots opposite. So this is the price table that we work out with. So basically, from the 2nd floor to the 13th floor, we already work out this is the price, and how we derive this price is using the same PSF for the 463 square feet which the developer have provided. Multiply with this 506 square feet, we get this price point here. And then we multiply by the 5% premium for the inner facing units, and hence you have these figures over here. So do note that subsequent most of our layouts will have these inner facing and outside facing. Over here we have a typo, so this is actually our road facing. So do note over here, yes, this is the road facing unit prices, as well as over here will be the inner facing premium prices.
So Marcus, who are the buyers who will usually buy a 1+ study unit?
Okay, so basically most of the buyers who buy a 1+ study are usually investors, or if not singles, or even couples who don't plan to have a bigger family. So there will be a handful of such buyers that will also buy for their own stay. But generally most will still buy for investment. So when we talk about investment, next thing is the rentability. Does facing and high floor actually affect your rental? So let's debunk this. Okay, so what we took was Bedok Residences. This is a mixed development. Okay, this is District 16 TOP in 2015. So what we did was we take a comparison of the road facing versus the pool facing. So over here we have our inner facing, pool facing at stack 41, and stack 39 will be our outside facing. But do note that over here the outside facing actually is about 3.5k, and the inner facing is 3.7k in terms of the rent. But notice that the size, we do not have much information that we can use for identical comparison in terms of the size. So this is the closest we can get. So if you discount a little bit for the rental, since this is a 592 square feet, probably a 3.6, or in fact it may be also a 3.5k rental. So with that being said, there is not much of a price premium in terms of your rental, even if you really go for a pool facing. And then next thing we want to talk about is whether in the same stack, a high floor and a low floor, is there a disparity? Okay, so 6th floor, stack 34 versus 10th floor, we'll realize that the difference is actually about $100 per month. So in terms of investment strategy for the 1+ study here, we'll advise you guys to actually buy as low quantum as possible, because the high floor as well as the inner facing units does not necessarily give you a higher rental yield. And now I will rank the 1-bedroom plus study. So basically we came in from the more of the investment point of view in terms of rental yield and whatnot. So because of that, we felt that going in at the 463 square feet, because it is smaller, your overall quantum will be a bit lower, and hence will give you better rental yield. So this is our 1+ study choice lah. Okay, so now moving forward, Gina, it's your turn to share the 2-bedroom. And I understand that over here there's a lot of layouts for the 2-bedroom.
Yes, there's a lot, so we will slowly break it down for you. Okay, so for our 2 bedrooms, we actually have 3 types of 2-bed 1-bath units. The first one is type B1, 592 square feet. They are mainly all road facing. Here, here, and here. Okay, as for the pricing wise, we use the same strategy as our 1-bedder. For the road facing, it's here, and inner facing, this area. So for the 2-bedroom, we have this. It is a dumbbell layout. Entrance walking in, you have this open kitchen concept. DB located here, and pretty much standard for the bedrooms and the living area. Just that I feel that the dining and the living room space in between here is a bit small.
Maybe a bit cramped lah.
Yeah.
But at least they have a 2.8 meter width for the living, so it's still quite sizable.
Yeah. For type B2, 592 square feet as well. Stack 11, 22, and 42. They are mainly the pool facing units here. So pricing range over here, as it is inner facing, right, there's a 5% premium that we added to. And basically for this layout, it is also a dumbbell layout. However, there's a shorter entrance here, a wider kitchen, 1.5 meters, and more space between the living and the dining area here.
Actually, in fact, the layouts are quite similar if you notice.
Correct. Main thing is the entrance. Okay, and the last type of the 2-bed, 1-bath layout is type B3. Same size, 592 square feet, but they are all the road-facing and inner-facing units.
So a mixture for this type.
Yeah, correct. Likewise, pricing, it's stated here. For this layout, there's a shorter entrance, and what I like about this is that the DB is tucked in this corner. And same thing, there's more space between the living and the dining as well.
Yeah, I guess when the DB and the store is tucked inside, it does give you this wider width when you come in from your main
and
door.
And you can potentially store shoes in like here.
So Gina, but the question is, should we top up to get a 2-bed, 2-bath?
Okay, it also depends on whether you are looking solely for rental or for your own stay as well. See whether if it suits your needs for this top up, because at a 592 square feet it should be around this pricing. For the 678 square feet it should be this pricing. So the difference is actually 190k or it can be close to $200,000.
But what are we actually getting more with this premium?
You get an enclosed kitchen.
And that's very important. Enclosed kitchen is something that most families these days appreciate having.
And you have a proper dining area located here.
As well as one additional bath, yeah.
So should we top up to 2-bedroom premium? For this layout, you can see that it's a 2-bed, 1-bath, 592 square feet. It should be at this pricing around 1.33 million. And as for the 678 square feet 2-bed, 2-bath layout, around 1.52 mil. The difference is actually 190k or maybe even close to 200k difference. But what you get is actually a proper enclosed kitchen, a proper dining area, and the additional bathroom here.
Enclosable kitchen is something where most families these days they appreciate. So having that as well as the designated dining and bath, I think is really worth topping up, especially if you can afford to lah. Right? Yeah.
And also depends on your needs lah. Okay, so we have shared on the previous 2-bed, 2-bath layout here. So next is we will be sharing about type B2, same size. They are mainly inner facing over here, here and here. Okay, so the difference for this layout is that there's a larger kitchen, slightly larger kitchen, shorter and living dining space compared to the previous layout. Other than that, they are roughly
more or less
around
the same. Yeah.
Next, BP3, same size, inner facing, but this one will be on the other side, which is
the Park
East area. So they are pool facing, and you can see that there's a fair amount of distance between your opposite neighbors and your unit. So likely there will be this 5% premium here. For the layout, it's also the same, just that you get this good amount of privacy away from your opposite neighbors.
So actually, I think for the Park East, we feel that because of the wider distance between your opposite block, the Park East premium may be slightly higher than the Park West. I mean, this is just our speculation lah. Yeah.
Okay, so for the next 2-bedroom premium, you have same size, inner facing, located here and here. So for this layout, it's slightly different because we can see that the bedrooms, right, are slightly staggered.
So more privacy
yes,
lah.
Slightly more privacy. But one thing to note is that the bathroom is directly beside the kitchen here.
So I think some people may not like it. So if you don't like it, maybe this is one of the 2-bedroom premium layout that you might want to avoid. Yeah, but other than that, it's more or less the same as well. Yeah.
So over here we have the bigger 2-bedroom premium layout. It is 271 square feet, mainly the outer facing. Here, 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 and here. Okay. So for this layout, it's also different. Not only bigger, but it is also a more conventional layout where there's a longer entrance, which also translates to a little bit more privacy, and kitchen is nicely tucked in this corner. Next will be the 2-bedroom plus study layout, 764 square feet, mainly inner facing. All this here, facing the pool. Okay. Pricing wise, we will use this chart. From this layout, we can tell there's staggered rooms, so a little bit more privacy and a nice study area over here. Ample space of the living area, around 6.7 meters.
That's quite long.
For the other layout, same 2-bedroom plus study, same size, inner facing as well. I mean, they are pretty much the same. Bedrooms are also staggered here, slightly staggered, and a longer living and dining area. This one is at 7.05 meters.
So actually that's the main difference between this and the other previous 764 square feet.
So for our 2-bedroom top choice, we will go for type B3P, which are mainly the road-facing units, mainly because of the width here and how the DB box is nicely tucked in this area.
So actually one look, these three layouts, they look almost the same. It's just how the DB box is located as well as the entrance area. So that's why B3 is our top choice.
And as for the 2-bedroom, our top choice will be BP3, which are mainly inner facing, and it's because of the better views, a bit more privacy from your opposite neighbors, and compared to the other layout, right, at least the bathroom is not directly facing the kitchen.
As well as we didn't really like the conventional layout for this particular 2-bedroom premium. So, and since the DB box is nicely tucked for this BP3, we thought that is our top choice for the 2-bedroom premium.
Okay, as for our 2-bedroom premium plus study layout, our top choice is actually BPS2, which are the inner facing units, mainly because of the long living area, which will also give you that illusion of a bigger living space. And the DB is also nicely tucked in this corner.
Yeah, but of course for the BPS2, we only have 2 stacks, so if your ballot number may not be that ideal for you to choose this stack 14 or 34, then BPS1 is just as good, frankly speaking. It's just the DB box is just not sunken inside, that's all, and a little bit shorter in the living and dining, but 6.7 meters is still very long. So does facing and high floor affect your rental for the 2-bedroom?
Okay, let's dive in and see. So using Bedok Residence's rental as an example, we have the pool facing versus the road facing units. Okay, so for stack 16, it transacted at 4.4k, whereas for the road facing unit stack 25, it transacted at 4.3k. They are both the same size, so from this we can tell that honestly there's not much of a difference between the inner facing and the road facing. So if your premium for the inner facing is actually gonna be very high, maybe you can consider the road facing one, especially if you are going in from an investment
point of view.
Yes. And as for low floor, high floor, we take this stack 16 as an example. For the low floor, it transacted at 4.3k for rental, and at the 12th floor, it transacted at 4.4k for the rental. So honestly, $100 difference a month is not a huge amount of difference.
So actually, Gina, for this is quite similar to our 1+ study earlier, where we derived that this facing and high floor does not really equate to a higher rental yield for you. So go in with the lowest quantum possible if you can.
There's a lot of layout in this 3-bedroom in
Yeah.
Parktown. Can you share more with us?
Okay, so basically we have 18 types of 3-bedroom layout. Yes, it's a lot because Parktown is a very huge development. But the thing is, a lot of the layouts are quite similar, which later I'll point out to you. Okay, so firstly we have our 3-bedroom compact. Our 3-bedroom compact, we have the type C1, 926 square feet, and they are all on the outside facing units. Okay, so this will be the price table for our type C1, 926 square feet. So if you take a look at the layout wise, the layout over here, it is the dumbbell shape, and in fact this 926 square feet is the only dumbbell layout for the 3-bedroom. So 3-bedroom compact. So this is very rare. You can actually consider this, but the thing is, there is no windows in the kitchen area. No doubt the kitchen is quite big at 10.4 square meters approximately, but notice that because there is no windows here, right, we are using induction cooking. So if you like to wok here at home, this may not be suitable for you. Okay, but another thing to notice is also there will be no windows in both the bathrooms, as well as bedroom 3 and bedroom 2. Because of the aircon latch, you may not have the full height windows. Another thing to take note is that from the balcony, actually you have this fins over there, and these fins are applicable to certain floor level and whatnot. But yes, there will be some fins on certain levels. So this is something that you want to take note of. That's about it for the 926 square feet. So moving on, we have in fact there's 10 square feet more, 936 square feet. But what is the difference? Okay, this 936 square feet is also on the outside facing, with an exception of this stack 59 is actually your internal towards your neighbor's block. Okay, but for the layout wise, you'll notice that this is a bit different really, and this will be conventional layout. From the entrance, you have a nicely tucked DB box over here. Your kitchen may be a bit smaller, but because of the windows, you can finally walk here over here. Okay, there's a good distance of approximately 3 meters for the living. And one thing that's very unique is that notice there is this situated along the corridor. So with this, there's this window that you can actually have more ventilation into your unit as well as lighting up your corridor. Yeah, so this is something that is quite unique. Bathrooms will all have windows as well. So this one may have a slight advantage compared to the 926 square feet. Okay, next up we have the 947 square feet. 947 square feet, we have the road facing stack 36 here and stack 5 over here. Okay, so in terms of the layout, it's about the same actually from the previous one that I shared. It's just that, if I'm not wrong, the entrance will feel a bit longer over here. But other than that, everything else here is the same. Okay, so moving forward, another 947 square feet type C4. Also, all on the outside facing except this stack facing inside. Okay, but notice that the layout over here, the main difference is the entrance area. So if you are someone who prefers a little bit more privacy from your main entrance, especially when you open up your main door, over here, your main door when you open up, you will not oversee into your living and dining room straight away. So this is something that you can take note. But other than that, likewise again, the layout is similar. Next up, another 947 square feet type C5. Similar as previously, the only difference again is at the entrance area. This will be a bit longer, so even more privacy for you if you want. This is one of your criteria you're going for. So this will be the price point over here. Okay, so for the 3-bedder, our top choice will be our type C4. Why we chose C4? Basically because the 926 square feet does not come with the windows, okay? And for the 936 and the 947 type C2 and type C3, it has basically not much privacy for your main entrance, and hence that's why we chose C4. We don't need this longer entrance area for C5, so C4 is our top choice.
However, if your ballot number is not very good, actually C2 is also a good choice due to the quantum.
Yeah, C2 because it's 936 square feet and it has what most of the other layouts have, the windows and the window in the corridor as well. So that is just the 3-bedroom compact, and whenever we discuss on the 3-bedroom compact, we want to understand who are our future buyers for our 3-bedroom compact when we were to sell it in the market next time. So this is the affordability gap that we are talking about. So over here you can see that we have a total of almost 15,000 HDB upgraders, 14 times of Parktown, which means there is really no lack of such potential buyers in future, and this will create an easier exit strategy for you. So in terms of the exit timing, so over here, sales launch 2025, we are looking to TOP around 28, which is also where your SSD 3-year mark is over. But notice that over here, your HDB cluster is actually not matured yet. So we felt that the timeline for exit is better when you hit your legal notice of vacant possession 2030, when there is this targeted completion of Cross Island Line as well of the Changi Airport Terminal 5, and we are very close to the full maturity of the new Tampines. So ideally you want to hold it minimally to 2030. If you want to buy it and just flip within 3 years, maybe the margin may not be as high as what you will probably expect. Okay, next up, this will be the affordability gap in terms of the 5-room HDB flats in Tampines Street 61. So these are the resale prices here, but we highlighted that the highest transacted so far was 950k. And notice that there is kind of a lot of back-to-back and even multiple units transacted in the same month. So there's always this demand for this Tampines area. So can upgraders afford? That's the thing. So back then, this is their BTO price. Okay, assuming they sell at 920k average price, they will have an estimated proceed of 470k, coupled with the CPF refund as well as whatever is existing your OA. You estimated you have this $640,000. So 3-bedroom, 926, the smallest size for the 3-bed compact, coming at this price point. In order for you to make this 300 PSF gain, you will likely need to sell at this price, which then translates to a down payment of 674k. So do notice that this 674k is very close to the 640k sales proceeds over here, and this is assuming you are selling at the current 920. So eventually, when prices are also slowly creeping up, there's definitely not much of an issue for the HDB upgraders to upgrade into Parktown. So we have already touched on the compact, and now we are going into the premium. And premium, we again have a lot of layouts that is somewhat similar, but yes, many layouts. So for the 3-bedroom premium, we have the type CP1, which is our red circles over here. Sorry, it's a bit small. You have the red circles over here. We have type CP2, which is the yellow ones, as well as the purple ones for the type CP3. So we put the 3 layout together to give you an understanding that it is kind of similar actually. CP1 and CP2 is just the difference at here, the longer entrance area for CP2 and a slightly smaller kitchen over at CP2 as well. Okay, but the difference is CP3 is just basically your main door. How is it being oriented is that when you open up, it hits a wall, so it has a lot of privacy for this CP3, and there's only 2 stacks, 90 and 109, which is road facing. So let's take a look at the price table that we came up with. So likewise again, we took the 926 square feet PSF, multiplied by the 1066 square feet to get the price point for the road facing, and then again with the 5% premium for the inner facing, and hence we will have this price point here. Okay, so for the CP4, CP5 and CP6, all are 1066 square feet. CP4 will be road facing, CP6 internal facing, and CP5 a mixture of inner and road facing. But mainly the difference, as you can see from this, are just the entrance area. Because other than that, your kitchen, you have your home shelter, the dining is in front of the kitchen wall over here, as well as you have the WC with windows, bath have windows, master bath also have windows, so everything else is kind of the same. Okay, so moving forward, next layout we have the CP7 and the CP8, which do take note, CP8 is the only there's only one unit of CP8, 1055 square feet, which is the SEC81, 0281. So this is estimated the price that we got for this unit. And for CP7, the mixture of inner and road facing. So the layout, as you can see side by side, is also again mainly the entrance area. The rest is the same. So because you notice that the 3-bedroom premium, a lot of the layouts are quite similar with just a slight variation in terms of the entrance area, we did not exactly rank a unit here as one of our top choice, but how we are going to decide is based on the price premium. So end of the day, if the inner facing units are more than 5%, then perhaps you just go for the road facing. But of course, if the inner facing premium is not more than 5%, then by all means, we should consider the inner facing units. Yeah. So now we have the 3-bedroom premium plus study. So CPS 1, 2 and 3, we have this stack 93 inner facing. CPS 2, we have the inner and road facing, a mixture, and CP3, another inner facing. Okay, so for the 1163 square feet, this is the price table that we have. Okay. And as for the layout, it is again very similar, but for the 3-bedroom premium plus study, they introduced back the aircon latch at the corridor. So this is a plus point where you have more light flow as well as ventilation. Okay, but the difference lies in the entrance area again. As for the CPS3, because it's 1173 square feet, it's just slightly longer at the entrance area. So, and this is the 1173 square feet prices. So next up, we have the CPS4 and the CPS5, which is the 1184 square feet, 3 premium plus study. Likewise, the layout is the same. Again, entrance area is a little different. Yeah, okay. So there's really not much difference for the layouts over here. So for the 3 premium plus study, our top choice will basically be the CPS one 1163 square feet. Stack 93, this is the only stack, okay? But why we chose this was because it has basically similar layout with most of the 3 premium plus study, just that you have quite a fair amount of privacy, yet you do not have to pay into the higher quantum because of the slightly larger entrance area for the other layouts. So that's basically why we choose a CPS one. Because CPS one we only have stack 93. So if ballot numbers again not too good, then we can consider CPS 2 because it is again also very similar and we do not need the extra entrance area like in this other floor plans over here. And with that, the 3 premium, it's done. And now Gina will be sharing on the 4-bedroom. And in fact, 4-bedroom also quite a few layouts here.
Yes, but actually they are all very similar. Okay, so for the first 4-bedroom layout, D11335 square feet, it is inner facing. And as for the pricing, since it's inner facing, we already included the 5% premium as per our previous calculations as well. 4-bedroom unit, 1335 square feet, it is located here, inner facing. So from the layout, we can see that entrance stepping in, there's a nice little store area, nicely tucked away. And as for the kitchen, glass windows will be provided here along with the wine chiller. And then the living area is also pretty wide at around 4 meters. And next is, as for the bedroom number 4, right, it can actually be your junior ensuite. Then pricing wise, we already indicated 5% premium over here. For the next 4-bedroom layout, same size, stack 40 and 85, which are mainly inner facing and the road facing. So the price difference will be here. Okay, as for the layout, only difference is the entrance, and you can see that the store room here is slightly smaller than the previous 4-bedroom layout.
Actually, in fact, stack 40 will be the only outside facing unit for the 4-bedroom.
So hopefully your price premium wouldn't be that high. Next will be type D3 1345 square feet, stack 24, inner facing. So it faces the pool and opposite neighbor. Difference is mainly the entrance. All the rest will be the same and they all have windows. Here, WC also have windows. All your toilets also have windows and pretty much the same. Width of the living room is the same as well. 4-bedroom layout, 1356 square feet, inner facing, stack 21 over here. Difference is mainly the entrance and most importantly the master wardrobe area. You have this very nice L shape that can potentially be like your walk-in wardrobe area.
Yeah, so actually for this 1356, just at a slight top up, maybe say less than 50k, you can get this walk-in wardrobe-ish and slightly longer entrance. I think you can consider this.
So next we have the 4-bedroom premium, size 1485 square feet, inner facing, stack 55 and stack 82. As usual, we also included a 5% premium, and for the layout, right, we can see that there is a proper junior master bedroom here. Okay, then there's also a nice pocket closure kitchen, and the kitchen is also much wider than the previous 4-bedroom layouts. Living and the dining area is also much bigger, and basically the rest are the same. Room size also quite similar. As for the next 4-bedroom premium unit, these are also internal facing, and as for the layout, it has a slightly longer entrance. So for one thing to note, stack 41 is actually not facing the pool but facing your opposite neighbor block. But there is a fair bit of distance away as we can see from here. Layout wise, pretty much the same as the rest. But if the premium is not very high, you can go for this stack 41.
So what will be our 4-bedroom and 4-bedroom premium top choice?
So for 4-bedroom, our top choice will be type D2, 1335 square feet inner and outer facing, mainly because of the entrance here. Although the store in type D1 is slightly bigger, however here with a smaller store area, we will feel like this area is pretty much a little bit
wider and
a
more
little bit
private.
wider,
Yeah.
a bit more private. Yes.
Yeah, it's really quite similar, the layouts.
similar.
Yeah. What about the 4 premium?
So for our top choice in this 4-bedroom unit type is actually D2, 1335 square feet. It has inner and outer facing, so more choices for you
to choose.
And not only that, but because of the entrance, with the store being slightly smaller, there will be a slightly wider entrance here and a little bit more privacy with this wall over here. And the rest of the
It's
room
essentially
is
quite
the
similar
same.
lah. Yeah. Okay, so what about the 4 premium?
For premium, our top choice is DP1, mainly due to the entrance here.
Yeah.
You not only have privacy, but you also don't potentially overpay for the extra length here, because the rest of it are essentially
The same. Yeah. Okay, and now moving on to our last layout, which is the 5-bedroom, and thankfully for the 5-bedroom, we only have one layout. So for the 5-bedroom, we have type E1. So type E1, we have 2 stacks, 67 and 100. So it is in the Park East facing, very good distance setback. So the price table we have is over here, okay, and let's take a look at the size. 1679 square feet, okay, only 22 units, and this will be the layout. So basically what you will notice is that it's very similar to your 4 premium, but the difference is that there will just be this extra common room. Yes, the distance of the living, the depth is slightly wider, 4.7 meters. Apart from that, something to note is over here, you got this sliding door that will lead you into your walk-in wardrobe area, so give you a little bit of this exclusivity. But what I would like is that for 5-bedroom, we will want to have 2 sinks. I mean, that will be ideal. Apart from that, I think having a private lift also will be something that is good, especially for this price point that we will be paying. But do note also another thing is that for bath 3 will not have the windows, and junior master bedroom, because of the aircon latch over here, it may not have the full height windows for your junior master. So I think overall this 5-bedroom feels a little bit underwhelming at least in my own opinion. Of course, if you are someone who really loves Tampines, you have the budget and you really want a large size, then this is something that you can consider. Especially imagine if Treasures, the 4-room, 5-room, they are all making quite a lot of profit, right? So end of the day, buying into a bigger unit type sometimes can give you this profit leap lah, basically. Yeah. Okay, so we have come to our end of the analysis, but one thing we want to give you a disclaimer is that we noticed that some of the floor plans, the sizes written there is a little bit different, even though the dimensions are the same. So this is one thing we want you to...
Typo.
Yeah, little typo.
Second thing is the thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
Just ignore that
It's
part.
just already included into the floor plan. But okay, so end of the day, right, Parktown is again a very huge development. There is a lot of layouts, as we have already covered, and but even though there's a lot of layouts, the layout is very similar. Yeah.
So honestly, not much of a difference.
Maybe.
It also depends on your ballot number and the price point you enter at. So it can also be very confusing because there are so many different layout types. So if you need
Especially
any help,
on launch day, right, it can be very stressful and very rushed. You need to make a decision. So if you need a more thorough analysis catered to individual needs, we can always assist you. So these are our QR code, yes, and our numbers. Reach out to us, and I hope that you have benefited from this project sharing today. And we will see you at the SHOWFLAT. Again, the preview period is when?
7 February all the way to
17
February.
Yeah.
Launch period will be on 22nd February.
Okay, and we'll see you there.
Remember to like and share our
remember.
video, okay?
Remember, thank you. Do support us. Ciao.